Ever since Scopper Gaban was introduced in One Piece, I have never felt how I feel in the current story, with Imu coming to Elbaf with his demonic powers and Haki. And me personally, I'm in this state where I want to wait and see what happens, which is rare because I've been making content for over a decade and I've never been in this state where I rather wait and see than theorize and discuss. It's like I have finally reached the moment of truth, which is the ultimate finale to this amazing series known as One Piece, something I've been waiting for at least 15 years since I started this series. But who would have thought there's actually a promise in the underworld of Elbaf, with Luffy and Loki both giving me that 1138 mural vibe. And you're probably wondering what I mean by that. Well, let me explain. Their destiny is to defeat Imu in Elbaf in this first part of this final war. Obviously, Imu's not going to be down for the count, but this Gunko version of Imu. And I know the final saga began after Wano, but I feel the endgame vibes more so in Elbaf than Egghead Island. And what I mean by that is, of course, Blackbeard versus Law, Kid versus Shanks, Garp versus Aokiji, and of course Kizaru, Saturn, and the Gorosei. It was all epic and cool and hype, but that felt more like a teaser. Like, think about this. Yonko Kaido was defeated in the Arc of Wano, and Admiral Kizaru being defeated in the Arc of Egghead Island. Their titles also fell. Yes, that's right, the Yonko and Admiral title kind of fell. And now the King of the World title that Imu holds is the next big thing Luffy has to go for, being the next title to fall. And with Blackbeard trying to reach that status, Zebek's footsteps, and us finding out in Elbaf that Loki was looking up to Zebek and wanted to join the Rocks, that is insane. It all makes sense why Scopper Gaban is so important, that of course him being on God Valley, seeing Roger versus Zebek alive in front of his face. Let's do a deep dive on the Pirate King top tier commander who recently did something that no one could do in the series, and how he can shape not only Elbaf but also One Piece as a whole. So like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notification, because the content is now gonna get really in depth, because I told you guys I'm in that wait and see moment now where I'm not gonna be theorizing like crazy. I'm gonna actually digest the content that Oda's dropping. So speaking of Egghead Island, everybody knows that we got an iconic moment of Luffy versus Saturn and Luffy versus Kizaru, and obviously Oda just had to top himself by doing Luffy versus the Gorosei. And if you watch that fight, Luffy definitely struggled with the Gorosei. Yes, he was able to pretty much mollywop Saturn, but that regeneration was a big problem. And then Luffy was running into characters like Workery, where he wasn't even able to damage him. Yes, with Conqueror's Haki coating and Gear 5 Nika, he wasn't even able to damage him. Luffy was actually getting damaged when he was attacking Workery. Now, of course, we did see Workery get punched by the Iron Giant from the Void Sentry, Joy Boy's ally, who has, of course, connected to Joy Boy's Haki that he let surge through Egghead Island. And we know Haki is the secret key to defeating these unstoppable monsters that the Gorosei and Holy Knights have been unleashing. But I feel like this Luffy vs. Gorosei moment in Egghead Island was really just to hype up how we're gonna stop it in Elbaf. It's like Egghead Island was Water 7 and Eddie's lobby is Elbaf. Yep, that's right. In Elbaf, we got confirmation that the Holy Knights of Summers and Gunko, and we can presumably assume the rest, all have the same regeneration ability that Nika has given the Gorosei. And with this regeneration ability, of course, the Straw Hats were struggling heavily. We even seen Jinbei take a loss. Like, Jinbei wasn't alone too. He had Brook, Nami, and Usopp, but he took a loss to Gunko. And then, of course, Summers was doing his thing as well. And it took a monster to stop them. A monster that could do something that we have never seen done in the series, that even Luffy couldn't do in Egghead Island. Yes, that's right. Scopper Gaban versus Summers changed the game. Now, a lot of people look at this as like, okay, Scopper Gaban is a top tier of the Pirate King crew. It's no surprise. He probably just used Conqueror's Haki coating. We already seen him do Advanced Future Sight when seeing Colin almost die to Gunko. But you have to understand, we didn't even know that Scopper Gaban had Conqueror's Haki to begin with. First of all, it was kind of teased in the Luffy Zoro fight, but it wasn't no confirmation, so no one really could speak on that. And then, of course, now seeing him do it now, it still hasn't been thoroughly confirmed because we still haven't seen him knock out anybody with Conqueror's Haki. But the fact that he's damaging Summers and his regeneration is not working, and Summers is still in pain, even after being alive, he's still in pain, shows that the Conqueror's Haki coating that Scopper Gaban is using has to be different from the one that Luffy did. Is it even Conqueror's Haki coating? Maybe it's a different special type of armored Haki. I'm not too sure yet. I'm not going to jump to the conclusion. But right now, my guess is Conqueror's Haki coating Scopper Gaban is using is a different type of Kakusaki coding that we haven't seen, or maybe we have seen it, but we know that Luffy, Kaido, and a lot of the other guys who use Kakusaki coding haven't shown this level yet that Scopper Gaban has shown. And it's interesting because Scopper Gaban is not even a top tier from back in the days. Yeah, he's a top tier, but he's not a captain. He's not Shiki. He's not Whitebeard. He's not Gold D Roger. He's not like that, guys. He's not Big Mom even. He's just Scopper Gaban of the Pirate King crew. He's kind of like Sanji to Luffy. Do we put Sanji above characters like Law and Kid? Yes, Sanji's incredibly powerful, but we never did though. So the fact that Scopper Gaban is doing some things that are just outright amazing, first of all, for Sanji, his potential is going to be through the roof just because Scopper Gaban is surprising us all. And honestly, you got to give credit to credit's due, yo. He's really doing his thing. Now we have these demonic powers taking over Elbaf, with Dory and Bragi, of course, highlighting this army that Imu recently spawned up, this giant demonic army where they're much bigger, and they seem to have the same powers as the Holy Knights and Gorosei, meaning they have regeneration powers, and they have strength boost and speed boost and everything boosted up. All their attributes are boosted up because of Imu doing this, of course. And of course is also connected to lifespan. We see Big Mom have a similar ability too as well. We've seen in the past, and especially in Wano against Kid and Law, where she took her own lifespan. So I think this is very cool what's happening right now. But I also think this is definitely changing the course of One Piece. Kind of like how in Naruto, I know people hate when I bring Naruto, but I like using patterns. Naruto in the 4th Green Ninja War, where we saw a lot of the old characters come back to life. This kind of changed the course of Naruto. Now, honestly, Scopper Gaban needs to help a lot of guys in this arc. And I think the main guy is Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy has Gear 5. Luffy has Future Sight. Luffy has 2 types of Advanced Armor Haki, and he has Conqueror's Haki coding. He pretty much has everything. The only bad thing Luffy has is that drawback to Gear 5. But I think that Gaban is not going to help him with his Dove Fruit, which I theorized years ago. I'm like, oh, Gaban's going to help Luffy with his Dove Fruit. I always knew that Gaban was going to help Luffy somehow. But now, after seeing what he did to Summers, he's going to help Luffy with actually his Haki. And Luffy's Haki is already getting to insane levels. Like we just recently seen him sense Chopper, of course, and of course Scopper Gaban fell down to the underworld, so Chopper went to go save him, so he sensed Chopper. And then we've never seen Luffy do. Luffy's Haki is just getting insane, and it's gonna get stronger when Gaban actually gives Luffy another secret tip, because Rayleigh helped Luffy during the time skip. It only makes sense for Scopper Gaban to help him now too. Now I feel like just because Luffy's getting help by Scopper Gaban, Zoro could also get help, because Zoro, yes, he doesn't have Future Sight. Yes, he doesn't have 2 types of Advanced Armor Haki. He probably has 1, like the basic Ryo, but he doesn't have 2 of it. But Zoro has Conqueror's Haki coding. And Kaido said, yo, Haki transcends all, and only a few amount of people can actually do Conqueror's Haki coding. So Zoro having this is going to be key into defeating these Holy Knights. First of all, there's not that much Holy Knights right now. There's only like 2 to 3 Holy Knights. Actually, if you subtract Gunko, there's actually only 2 Holy Knights, with Shamrock maybe comes back, making it 3. So we don't need that many characters doing what Scopper Gaban was able to do. So I think Luffy being one of those characters, and Zoro, because he has Conqueror's Haki coding, he's the only other straw have Conqueror's Haki coding. He's gonna definitely need that tutoring from Gaban. Ooh, there's gonna be some banter there as well, because they almost already fought in the beginning. And of course, Scopper Gaban is kind of Sanji's parallel, and then talking to Zoro. It's gonna be really cool to see. Another character which I think Scopper Gaban is not gonna help, but will have some interaction with when it comes to actually defeating these demonic powers, this demonic army that regenerates, and the Holy Knights, is Loki. Loki actually was not that scared when Imu's Haki was surging through Elbaf. If anything, he was excited. He couldn't wait to be asked for his help, because he knows how to defeat this character. I think this is why the Holy Knights want him there. I think Loki's Haki is already on another level. This might confirm Loki being stronger than current Luffy right now, which would be crazy. I know people look at like Loki lost to Shanks, but Loki lost to Shanks 6 years ago, guys. And Luffy has not been a character on Shanks' level, in my opinion. I think Shanks is stronger than Kaido. I think Shanks is stronger than Kizaru. So I think that Shanks is stronger than Luffy right now, currently, because he doesn't have Gear 5 drawbacks, and his Haki is just insane. We saw that against Eustace Kid. So I believe that Loki could arguably be stronger than Luffy currently if he has that special Haki that Scopper Gaban used. If Scopper Gaban confirms it, that would be crazy. And then there's Sanji. Sanji being in the underworld, it has to be for a reason. He doesn't have Conqueror's Haki coding. He has pretty strong armor Haki and his cool exoskeleton with the blue flames, but he doesn't have any advancement of any Haki. He just has really strong observation and really strong armor Haki. But I believe Sanji needs to take his Haki to the next level, because look at Scopper Gaban. If anything, Scopper Gaban doesn't just make Luffy, Loki, or Zoro stronger, he makes Sanji stronger automatically because of his potential. And I believe Sanji will have to run into Scopper Gaban, and I think Scopper Gaban can give Sanji some help in reaching the next level of Haki. When it comes to Armin Haki, I think Future Sight as well. Sanji needs to develop Future Sight as well, because look, Scopper Gaban has Future Sight, and he has advanced Conqueror Haki. Like, Sanji already has crazy levels of Future Sight. Not Future Sight, but also Future Haki when he dodged Katakuri, who does have Future Sight. So I think maybe we even see Sanji develop not only Future Sight, but Shanks' Haki, the Observation Haki killer. If he's able to kill Future Sight, Sanji's going to be a big problem. His speed is already a problem. It makes him invisible against Queen. But if he has that Future Sight killer, ooh, that's going to be insane. So yeah, excited to see this top tiers of Elbaf going against Imu's demonic powers. It's gonna be really cool to see. Like, I can't wait to see Loki and Luffy versus Imu. I can't wait to see Zoro versus Summers, Sanji versus Killingham. Like, I can just see hype moments. Scopper Gaban is definitely going to be helping them all get stronger, but he's not going to be actually in this demonic war. Maybe fighting some of the Dory and Bragi, and it's going to be a power struggle because he doesn't want to kill them, but they also have demonic powers. They're evil now, so how do you stop that? It's going to be really interesting. This arc is probably one of the most interesting arcs, and I had a feeling it was going to be interesting with Shamrock in the beginning, and then of course we didn't know the vibe with the villain was going to be. Like, I never knew that Imu was going to be the actual final villain in Elbaf. Like, Oda, you keep on breaking my ankles like you're Allen Iverson. It's insane. So how do I think Scopper Gaban has a secret into stopping this demonic army that Imu just conjured up and the Holy Knights? Of course, I think my theory has to be that Roger, Rayleigh, and of course Scopper Gaban saw something in Laftel that was a secret from the Void Sentry in defeating these demonic powers. If Scopper Gaban learned how to defeat the Holy Knights from Laftel, that's going to be huge, because now he can give this technique to Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Loki before they even have to go to Laftel. So I think that would be cool. That's a cool theory, but I also have different theories as well. This is my first theory when I just first read this stuff. Which makes more sense to me is Scopper Gaban discovering this in Elbaf. Yes, after Roger died and the Roger Pirates disbanded, if he went to Elbaf and over the last 20 years developed this insane Haki through Elbaf's insane history and lore and battle history, of course, this is the warriors of Elbaf, known for dominating in the One Piece world and history. This could make him, when he says he's the second strongest in the Roger Pirates over Rayleigh, this could make his statement factual, because maybe at the time in their prime Rayleigh was stronger, but after, because of Elbaf and what he learned, he became stronger than Rayleigh through these secret Haki things he developed to defeat guys in the Holy Knights. So that would be cool to see. Honestly, what he's shown so far, it looks like he is looking like Future Sight, Advanced Conqueror coding, just doing crazy things in this arc. Yo, Scopper Gaban has shown really well, and honestly, there's an argument for him being above Rayleigh right now, currently in the story. Like, I could make a video on that. In my opinion, Elbaf just gave me a final statement on Luffy. Luffy just got one step closer to beating Imu because of Scopper Gaban. Who would have thought? And of course, I always thought that the Nika fruit would have been developed by Scopper Gaban, but it was actually the Haki that's going to be developed by Scopper Gaban, like Rayleigh did before in the time skip. Like I said, it took 1.5 years of Rayleigh training for Luffy to basic foundation of his Haki. So now the advancement is probably going to be by Scopper Gaban. It's going to be cool to see. I expect to see a whole new Gear 5 on Elbaf, because Luffy's Haki getting stronger makes me think that his drawbacks are not going to be that bad too as well, because we know Gear 4 had to do with Haki, like his Haki ran out. And Gear 5, if his Haki gets stronger, I think he can actually make Gear 5 go longer, which he needs to do. Even if it's Gonko Imu, this Haki we're feeling right now, I don't care if Imu's controlling Usopp. Luffy, your Haki needs to get stronger for Gear 5 to get stronger, and Gear 5 is the secret, in my opinion, in defeating Imu and ending the One Piece. Yes, the end of One Piece is going to need to be done, and Viper said a huge war is going to happen after the One Piece is found. So I think part 2 happens after the One Piece is found, and part 1 has just started in Elbaf. Yes, guys, the final war, the final saga is begun. Mary Joyce is being burnt down. That's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. And guys, if you guys really like this content, you're gonna have to wait and see, because there's more insane content about to be dropped on this channel. So like I said, guys, I'm loving what Oda's doing right now. The fact that I don't want to theorize, I just want to wait and see. Rarely ever have I felt that ever in my time reading this amazing series.